up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up.
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up. But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
Not the results you want. 129, 125. Pistons just look like they didn't have it on the defensive side tonight to be able to keep the Washington Wizards in check. About to go to the press conference and talk about it. Cade had a big game, 38 points for him. And he got a career high in free throw attempts today, 20 plus. So shout out to him, but let me know what you guys think in the comments, man. About to head to the press conference and talk about it. No victory shades, no business handled, but at least they know that. We're going to hear from JB Bickerstaff. We're going to hear from Isaiah Stewart. They were short, they were sweet, they were simple, they were mad. They didn't really want to be there asking too many questions because they felt like they just dropped the ball, Flannel Sam.
Yeah, I got to be honest, that one stings. And I get it, it's just a regular season game, but I'm not going to be getting over that one anytime soon. If they can turn around and beat OKC, then I'll be over it. But that's going to be tough. They got some tough games ahead, and hopefully we're not looking back at this one at the end of the year thinking, man, that would have been a good one to have. But just a brutal loss.
Hey, I'm going to try and be honest. here. I'm going to try and be honest here. I got to be consistent. I said, listen, even if they lose, I just said this yesterday, it's not the end of the world. These things happen. But when you say, you know what, that one stings just a little bit, yeah, you could kind of feel it. But what up, though, people? It is Wake Up Woodward. I know we're going to talk Pistons in this opener. So definitely want to have you tell the people what's on the rest of the menu today.
Well, we've got a special guest joining us at 9 o'clock. His name is Motor City Don P. He used to go by the name of Chef Talks, and he's a up-and-coming content creator, and you guys may know him as someone you've seen in the chats at Woodward for a very long time. We got him coming in at 9 to discuss the Lions. We're going to talk about free agency and some potential edge rushers that are still available, because as things are shaping out, I have a feeling that I'm not alone with the sentiment of, you know what they've done so far is fine, but I'd still like them to get another edge rusher. I don't think I'm alone in that train of thought, and there are some that are available that won't really cost you all that much, and we're going to be doing some profiles on them, but those damn Pistons. And that sounds a little harsh, but I'm hurt. I'm hurt.
You know what? Rightfully so, though. Remember earlier on in the Red Wings season, there were losses, there were wins, and I'm like, you know what? Say it with your chest, because this type of a passion means that team is actually playing for something right now. And the Detroit Pistons have been standing on their heads since 0-4. They're still a team since that time that is 37 and 26. So I'm still confident in what this team can be, but they do have a tough stretch of games. So that's one where you're like, for everything that's just in front of you, for seeing how some of these other teams that aren't even this dysfunctional, the Pacers and the Bucks, they weren't a part of that, but you find yourselves now locked in a sprint towards the end of the season, down the last 15 or so games of this year for an opportunity to actually host a playoff spot. You could tell they were pissed. You could tell. There was, we were sitting waiting in the press conference room, and you could hear them saying, cussing, because their locker room is just down the hall from us. You could hear them heated. You could hear them like, how the F did we do this? You could tell that there was a little bit of, I don't want to say embarrassment, but they knew that the fans showed up. Fans, for 313 Day, y'all showed up. But I did hear this from the people I talked to. They were still like, dang, man, they were supposed to get that one, man. It's going to be tough for the head. But they still some dogs, though, man. Them young dogs are still. So it was cool to hear at least that sentiment from fans that, like us, it stings, but you're not jumping off the band. You're not taking a broad brush to this team and saying, oh, dump them all out into the Detroit River. This is a team that I expect to definitely get it together. And beyond what most people think with this stretch of games ahead, I do believe that they're going to fare much better than they did against the Wizards, in which the second game, I think they just looked down on their opponent. They took it for granted, though.
You know, it's funny that you mention that because I have to get on the stand myself, and then I have to put some others on the stand. Nobody specifically, but I'll just start with myself. I got a little bit too cocky. I was talking yesterday about how, maybe the Pistons can practice some things, basically implying like them running a practice during a game against the terrible Wizards team still, but this is the NBA. And the Pistons are a team, and whether you're a fan, whether you're players, it seems like all of these teams, especially when you haven't won anything yet, the NBA has a way of dishing out humble pie, whether it's to fans or to players, and I think last night was as humbling of a dose of pie as I've certainly received as a Pistons fan this year, and I'm sure the Pistons as a team have received this year.
That might be the best word.
Yeah.
Not embarrassment, but humbling.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, and I think that they'll ultimately be fine. It's just that I certainly took the Wizards lightly as a fan. I think the Pistons might have been reading their own press clippings a little bit and took the Wizards lightly too, because let's be honest. On Tuesday, they didn't even play their A game, and they still won by 20. I think that they thought they could win off of vibes and the fact that the Wizards are just so bad. But you know what? The Wizards came to play, but the Pistons helped them out by not really having any defensive intensity whatsoever. A lot of those threes, all 20 of them that the Wizards were hitting, were wide open.
That's what I keep telling you guys, the Achilles heel. And I'm going to continue to monitor things over the next week and a half, 2 weeks, as we start to talk about the best playoff matchups. But that's their Achilles heel for some reason. Those teams that can shoot the three ball well, they have an opportunity to just discombobulate the Pistons. And we saw it last night, but that's one where they've been better. They've still been able to stave that off better over the last 2 to 3 months of the season, to where that's why I want to see how they bounce back. They've been a team that has been resilient. You know, they take a loss or they take a few losses, and they've been a team largely that has been able to kind of shore that up and move forward. Similar to the Detroit Lions, they take a loss and we see them say, you know what, we're going to get right back in stride. And so this team is kind of in the same mold and grit. But before we get to Stu and JB Bickerstaff, who you sound a lot alike, a lot of your sentiments are like theirs. They're like, look, we took them for granted. We were looking at the record. They were like us last year, but this is the NBA. Yeah. But just literally, while we've been sitting here, I've gotten a couple comments, man. Zeke from IG commented, Detroit Kool-Aid, man, LCA was sold out last night. I just checked the attendance. I could tell because I was waiting in line for 20 minutes trying to get in, and I missed most of the first quarter. Remember, guys, I told you last night, I was pulling up Saturday night, 15 minutes into the game. The lines were back to the Woodward. He says, regardless of that, the vibes are high, but lost last night. But a bad loss last night, but we will bounce back. And another one, Derek Pulliam, he says, horrible loss, but a necessary one. This team has to learn how to play to their standard and not to the level of the competition. Compete hard. Value possessions. Don't take plays off. Stop giving the ball away. Stop giving up threes. Everybody crash the boards. Everybody close down the paint. Because I wanted to read that one because yesterday they did some things that were uncharacteristic. Yeah. They got out-rebounded. They got out-assisted. They weren't the same team that they generally are. They generally dominate those areas and aspects of the box score. It was cool to see Cade Cunningham get the free throws, but they didn't do some of the scrappy things necessary, and it reflects in the score. We were thinking they had an opportunity to score that many points, but we also thought that their defense was going to be one that did not give up 129 to the Wizards.
And I'll tell you what, too, if you would have told me before the game, and this is why games aren't played on paper, and this is why anything can happen, certainly in professional sports, if you would have told me before the game that Cade Cunningham would not only take over 20 free throws, he would make 20 free throws, and the team as a whole would make 37, I would have been like, 25-point win. But that just goes to show they didn't do the other things very well. And I'll just start with Cade Cunningham. I don't think he played an awful game by any stretch. I mean, he gave you 38 points, 10 assists. But other than free throws, he was very inefficient. His three-point shot just wasn't there.
It rimmed out like 4 of those three-point attempts.
And it be like that sometimes. But when is a contributing factor to costing you a game. And I'm not saying it was Cade's fault, but the three-point shooting and the lack of scoring efficiency, it wasn't great. And it's magnified when you lose a game in such a poor fashion. I'm not saying that Cade was the biggest reason they lost, or even the second, third, fourth, but at the end of the day, I use it to highlight, yeah, the free throws were amazing, but what else in the entire sport of basketball did the Pistons do well last night besides get fouled and shoot free throws? Not a whole lot.
No, not a whole lot. And they got 29 fast break points, but
That's fair.
But they still found themselves in a position to where they were playing a lot of half court basketball, and I think that's what really messed up the inefficiency there. Obviously, Cade was getting his foul shots, but their best offense is being out in transition, and this is the thing with the rebounds, right? They got 41. They gave up 47 to the Wizards. That can't happen.
No.
That's a recipe for disaster for them. The assists, they got 23. The Wizards had 30 assists. Like, those are the things that I'm looking at. Like, even steals, the Wizards had 10. The Pistons had 8. So all of the things that we've seen largely contribute to their success just wasn't there. And then that does put a bigger onus on a Cade Cunningham to play a little bit cleaner with those usage. It puts a onus on him to have to play more perfect. Whereas if the hustle, the defense, those things that kind of disappeared in the fourth quarter, if those things were there, I think we'd be singing a little bit of a different tune. But this is a part of when you look at this team, the growth, the maturation, the steps forward, the goals that they have, because they don't want to go to the playoffs and get waxed. These are the things that they're going to have to improve upon, both individually as players like Cade, Duren, and those guys, even Asar Thompson, as well as a team, as a cohesive unit. They have to understand your defense takes no plays off. Your defense takes no time off. I don't care if you're Asar Thompson or not. I don't care if you have the skill set of an Isaiah Stewart or not. You can't take a play off, period. And last night there were times where the defense took long lapses based on personnel, a lot of people point out. But that's where they have to solve. And they only have a couple weeks, realistically, to solve that if they want to have a good chance in the playoffs against stiff competition every single night.
Yeah, this is just one where you got to flush it. You got to forget that it happened, and you damn sure better not play like this again, because I get it. Losses happen. Inexplicable losses happen, but it was the way that they were just kind of flat and sloppy, and it's unfortunate. All of the calling cards of what JB Bickerstaff is and what this team has been under him, they just all went out the window last night. Yeah. But again, it's 1 out of 82, but it's the Wizards. And I get that the Wizards, they drive Mercedes too, to quote Neil Rule, but at the end of the day, got to win that game. But I think it's video time.
I hope they do, man. A lot of those guys look like they belong in the G League. But
wow.
You know what?
Last night, though, a lot of them G League players like Keontae George. Funny, he found his three-point stroke last night. But anywho, go ahead.
Hey, you know what? Do we have time to take a little break and then get back to the videos? Let's definitely do that, because I want to hear from JB and from Isaiah Stewart. I'm hoping the people do as well if they missed it last night. And then from chat family member and Woodward Sports supporter Deshaun, who was also at the game last night. So let's hear from our friends at Feldman.
Absolutely. Feldman Chevrolet of Novi, Detroit's #1 Chevrolet dealer and the Chevrolet dealer of the year for 6 consecutive years. They got deals of the month. You can get a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew for only $199 a month. You can also get a 2025 Chevy Equinox for only $249 a month. Come see George Hawes and his team at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Listen, I'm not sure who, but somebody let the Tigers get hot.
The Detroit Tigers are locked and loaded for another great summer in Detroit. And it all starts downtown at the biggest home opener party in the city. Join Woodward Sports at Grand Slam Festival as we take over the Detroit Opera House parking lot. A big ass tent for a a big-ass Detroit party. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFestival.com or follow Woodward Sports on X and IG for your chance to get in for free. Party across from Comerica Park and hear the roar as the Tigers take the field for the first time in 2025. DJs, food trucks, bartenders, live broadcasts, and more. See you for the Tigers' first home game of the season, April 4th at the Grand Slam Festival with Detroit's biggest party animals, Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Do yourself a favor, scan that QR code on screen. Use code word Woodward1000. You can deposit up to $1,000, but all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet. If it doesn't hit, they'll throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. Hey, if you bet on the Pistons last night, guess what? That $20 goes right back into your account so you can bet again. Scan the QR code on screen, use code word Woodward1000, and make some money today.
Make some money. Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward and chat family. As always, we appreciate you guys for kicking off the day with the WUW Crew. So going ahead, let's run up those likes today. And we got to jump back into these Detroit Pistons. But before we do have the Vegas Super Chats going on right now. Definitely at the first 50, we got that merch giveaway for you all. And I see some people in the chat here. Here's a good question. We're going to wrap up the Pistons talk in this segment, but we do got some TLB on the way. From Greg, 2025, what grade do you give Brad Holmes so far? So definitely, chat family, key that up, and maybe we'll get back to that during those segments. And Randall Smalls, you are on one this morning, but I'm not going to read the first one. But this one is kind of, I can't read the first one, dog. This was funny, though. Sam hanging with the brothers with his, it be like that sometimes.
Oh, I didn't even know what I was doing. It's all good.
Sam is my brother. Yes. But look, we talked a lot about the Detroit Pistons and the fact that the identity that they've been forging to this point is not what we saw on display yesterday. Yeah. And to me, when your team or your even the teams you work with, when you're raising kids or even yourself, you want to know, okay, I've identified, I can get back to the standard so that we can bounce back. And that was a lot of what you heard yesterday. They seemed annoyed with themselves, even to the point that, let's hear from JB Bickerstaff, man. Let's definitely do that. JB BickerSmooovv. You got JB Bickerstaff?
Oh, yeah. Both games of a home and home isn't easy in this league. You've been around it. You've been able to see how, especially a team like Washington, kind of getting embarrassed on Tuesday, how they can switch things up. How did they change things differently in tonight's matchup?
I think this is one we need to own responsibility for. Don't get me wrong, not taking any credit away from what they did because they played well. But we allowed them to give up 69 points in the first half, to give up backdoor layup after backdoor layup, to not get back in transition. I think they had 20 fast break points in the first half. That allowed them to believe that they could. And you get an NBA team belief on any given night, anybody could win. They shoot 44% from three. Our fourth quarter defense wasn't good enough. So again, credit to them for coming back and competing the way they did. But, this is one that, we got to eat. Because we didn't do the job.
For them, 20 made three-pointers. Did you see it as more of a, from your perspective, guys not switching, or more so getting caught, double-teaming and just finding the open man?
I thought, again, they did a great job of moving the ball, playing unselfish. The urgency on the defensive end for us just wasn't there. Time and time again, we were late closing out the bodies. These games, they suck with the outcome. But sometimes you got to learn the hard way.
21 free throw attempts for Cade tonight. Of course, free throws have been a topic for him if he's getting to the line enough. What did you see tonight, whether it was approach or
taking ownership, not taking any credit from what they did, but allowing them to perform in that way? Mm-hmm. Why do you think tonight was more challenging for you guys?
because from the start of the game, we didn't take we didn't take this matchup as serious. Obviously you could look at a team and look at their record. It's a position we were in last year. We came out. We didn't play Detroit basketball tonight. We allowed them, to stay in the game. Give them confidence, and that hurt us. It hurt us, and ended up losing.
Did anyone speak up tonight to the group just now in the locker room about it?
Pretty much everybody. We knew. We knew we didn't do our job tonight. We knew we didn't, handle business. So, everybody was disappointed.
How does this feel, I guess, in comparison to even earlier this season, just given that this team has been pretty consistent for 3 months or so? I guess just what's the feeling now compared to earlier, given that the team has had success?
I would just say, it's a lesson for us. Obviously we want to hang our hat on, playing Detroit basketball every night and being consistent with that. And, we just didn't do that tonight. And, hopefully we learn from it.
Anybody else?
Hey, and you know what? If you're going to take an L, then you want to at least know that this team has learned from it. And that's what I took away from it. You heard JB Bickerstaff step to the podium, had some attitude. You know that they were all probably at each other's, heads with this because they dropped one on their home floor in front of an audience that pulled up for them. They know that the fans have been getting back into this thing, and for themselves as well. They have a standard that they want to play to, and we heard about this earlier in the season from JB Bickerstaff, even after a win. And he went off. It was a win against the Hornets. He said, no, absolutely not. Like, I'm not happy. Like, yeah, we won, but we didn't play to the standard. And so what encouraged me about a team that takes an uncharacteristic loss is that they can identify what's done wrong and that they can get back on that right trail. And I expect them, the leaders of this team, the vets of this squad, and the type of player that Isaiah Stewart is. He carries that type of demeanor all the time, but he doesn't mince his words. So you know that this team has definitely gone in there already after the game and talked about it. And it pairs with what we were hearing, man. They were like us in the media, like, bro, they are heated. And so I'm looking forward to how they respond despite kind of some tough games ahead.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they use it as a learning lesson, that will be the one positive we can take from last night. I certainly will as a fan, in terms of not just like scoffing at opponents. You thought you could do it against the Wizards, but obviously I couldn't. And the Pistons, I mean, Isaiah Stewart said as much. They didn't take this matchup as seriously as maybe they should have, and hopefully they learn their lesson to never do that again, because even the Washington Wizards, and I get it, it's easy to say now that they came into LCA and beat us. Even the Washington Wizards, they've got some stuff to play for. They're trying to find out what they have in Alex Sarr, and how impressive was he last night? He was really good, including that elite rim protection when Cade Cunningham was looking to get
the dunk.
Yeah, looking for the go-ahead dunk or layup, and he had 19 very efficient points, 3 of 6 from 3, 7 of 12 from the floor. And even the Wizards, when you look at their roster, it's like these are a lot of prideful guys who have played a lot of important games in the NBA and been very good and have done a lot of winning. I mean, Chris Middleton was a champion not that long ago, second best player on a championship team. Jordan Poole was a champion even more recently than Chris Middleton and was a prominent member of that Warriors team. Marcus Smart has played over 100 playoff games in his career. No team in the NBA is just a complete pushover. And even the Wizards, the Wizards who we all took lightly as fans and they took lightly as a team, if you give them a chance, if you leave them wide open for threes, if you play sloppy, they'll kick your butt. It just is what it is.
Yep, and that's why I continue to say that's been their Achilles heel. They're going to have to pick it up as it relates to that type of defense, because I see it on the man-to-man. They're good. And that's what just kind of confuses me about how often I've seen them kind of get waxed by teams from the three-point line. So I think that a lot of it has to do as well with their desire to try and pack the paint, grab the rebounds and such. But after about 2 or 3 swings around the perimeter, their defense just seems to lose one of the shooters. And the reason why I do believe that their motor is something that can help that cause is because you look in the first half of that game, right? And there was a couple plays when Asar Thompson was on the court and they tried to shoot threes. And what did he do in like the first, I don't know, however many minutes of the game? He got blocks. And so that's where I'm like, these guys have to keep that type of intensity the entire time, because we know that we saw our good Detroit Pistons teams in the playoffs. That's how they played the entire time. We hear PTSD 2004 Shaq still talking about this team, trying to call them board and this, that, and the other. We all know when you go back to that team, not just that year, but even the year after and the years before, it was a nonstop defense. We were going to lock you down from start to finish. We don't coast. And that's what this team has to get right, because I'm telling you guys, if they do not, you will go into the playoffs feeling good. And the last couple times we went there, they got swept because they were not ready to meet the level or intensity of those other teams that were going to put in that work every single night. And that's where I'm really hoping, as a litmus test, and as them learning from this thing, like you said, maybe the most positive thing to come out of this is that they know what they've done wrong. That's where I'm hoping this team goes, and down the stretch of the season, whether they're winning or losing, hopefully a whole lot more winning than losing, that they're putting forth maximum effort. They're not a team that can afford to not. They are where they are right now because we notice an increase in their maximum output of effort and hustle and diving on the floor, being in position defensively, taking charges, defending more at the rim. Those are things that they're going to have to continue to be, because if they're not rebounding the ball well, they're not running well. Then you're putting this team in a position. There's two things here. If you're getting out rebounded, you're giving them a better opportunity to have more chances. Or a couple times they got the initial stop, but then the second chance point was a back-breaking three in a game that you lost by 4. So it's just little things, man, little things. But I got another video I wanted to play. Unless you had another comment on the game, it's from our chat family member.
No, go ahead and play it.
Hey, let's hear from Mr. Deshaun and a little man. Well, his little man that he believes is only gonna know winning basketball.
Give me 1 second. I forgot you throw these in here.
Yeah, no, it was cool, man. Showing up to the arena yesterday, it was dope. Everybody outside, the Chevy Plaza was packed, and my mind instantly went to playoff basketball, and that's what was on a lot of people's minds yesterday. So that's what probably stings the most about yesterday's losses. You want to see them continue to handle business. That's what we've grown accustomed to with this team is, oh, no, they beat the teams like this. It's not just a notion of maybe scoffing at it, but we expected them to go and hold to their standards more so than not.
Yeah, no, and that's why wouldn't we expect the Pistons to take care of business last night? It's just, as I said before, the NBA or any sport, when you're that up-and-coming team, the humble pie is going to get you first before the title contention gets you. It just is what it is. And we've all experienced it with all of our teams, both recently and many years ago, whether it was the Red Wings or the Tigers. It's just the way that it is. It's a rite of passage. But it's unfortunate that those fans that you got to talk to didn't get a chance to see a win last night. Do you got that video, JB?
Yep.
We found some special Detroit Pistons fans in the building. Hey, tell the people your name and where you from.
Oh, Deshaun from the West Side. This little Mace.
Hey,
he from West Bloomfield, though.
Hey, let's rock. Hey, you know what? We waited a long time for the Pistons to have some hope and some promise like this. How you feeling about these Pistons right now?
Man, they're a young team on the come up, man. They making a leap. Expected sooner than expected, but we here for it, man. I've been watching them since 2002, Jerry Stackhouse.
So you a diehard. You go back.
Man. I'm an OG.
Hey, I feel that, man.
Yeah.
And you know what? 313 day. You turning up for 313 day?
Oh yeah, we got the fam out here. We turning up, man. We had to come watch the game, man.
Hey, you know what, man? Yeah. He's only gonna know winning Pistons basketball.
That's all he gonna know, man. He lucky, man. He ain't gonna know the struggle, man. Yeah, man. Let's go, Detroit. Let's win this 2-game streak on the Washington Wizards. And man, let's get to 50 wins, man.
Let's ride. Hey, thank you guys, man. Thank you.
Man.
Yo, I almost forgot about that. First, shout out to Deshaun, chat family member, and Mace as well. Those types of interactions mean the world to me because I heard from a lot of different people at yesterday's event that said, yo, say what up, though, to Woodward Sports. Say what up, though, to the WUW Crew. And to have that type of support when we're putting boots on the ground and to hear that more and more and more, people say, hey, y'all were on it when nobody else was. Like, about the Pistons. That type of stuff is definitely beyond encouraging. So shout out to Deshaun. And then to have the dancing usher back in the building, bro, not only the LCA light up, but all across social media, man, everyone started sharing that thing. So shout out to Mr. Shannon Sales, the dancing usher, as most people know him. And everybody was like, yo, man, I remember him from back in the day. And I was like, how many years has this been? How old are we? Is he really back in the day, KG?
I mean, at this point, I haven't seen him since the Palace days, bro. But he a real cool dude, man. So it was good to see him back in that atmosphere, man. I don't know if he's officially back with the team, but it's just good to have him back.
Hey, dope. But dancing usher, man.
Hey, I mean,
it's the man.
Yeah, he's the man.
No, at one point he was the only reason to go to the Pistons games.
You know what?
He was the only source of entertainment for real.
I be through with you, Kid Kool-Aid. I like 4 pictures with him one season, dog.
Oh man,
it was just like that.
Yeah,
it was literally like that.
Tough times, man.
Tough times.
Radio TLB.
Got a TLB. Stay connected, though, with Woodward Sports on all social platforms. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, along with YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok for the latest sports news, live updates, and behind-the-scenes action. Don't miss out. You got to hit that follow button. Why? Not just all of the bonus content that we're bringing, but also all of the giveaways that we get to bring for you all. Jersey giveaways, cash prizes, tickets. Trust me, guys, we got not just the Detroit basketball tickets for the regular season, but also the postseason on the way. So stay tapped in. Hit that follow button now and be a part of Detroit's #1 digital sports network at Woodward Sports everywhere.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Hey, it's Planet Fitness. Fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
What up, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. We appreciate you, chat family, for kicking off your day with the WUW Crew, man. Dog, they're already going on one with these comments this morning, dog.
Oh,
They
yeah.
are already on. I think I just texted you one too, man. I'm not reading that one on air. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Going ahead.
Yeah, I'll read it. I don't care.
Oh, it's from Phil. Phil's last one.
Oh, of course.
Oh, Lord.
I don't
You
wait.
want to read
what?
that,
Whoa.
JB?
I'm not.
I'm not reading it.
Yeah,
Phil,
I don't think we
calm
should
down,
read it.
bro. What the fuck is that?
I mean, flannel, you
You
can
come
read it if you want.
Yeah, dog, don't even
I'm
do
not-
it, Sam.
That's
Well,
what I'm
you can read
saying.
it.
Look, if y'all gonna be on one like that, smash that like button too, because this is crazy, dog.
Getting out
You
of
on some
pocket
bullshit.
already.
Dog.
Phil, you know you on bullshit, bro.
I'm looking
Don't-
at
don't
that
do
already. Let's hurry up and get into the segment.
Yes.
Hurry up. You know what? Just take the segment.
Fair enough. All right. So, as I said at the beginning of the show, the Lions in free agency, they made a big move for DJ Reed, which I think we're all pretty happy with. They re-signed Levi O. They got Roy Lopez, re-signed Davenport, Barnes. I think most of us can take away some positives from this free agency, some more than others. That is for damn sure if you've seen our social media. But I think all of us would kumbaya if we got one more edge rusher. And I know when you bring up the edge rusher conversation, a lot of the people in the chat are just going to be like, oh, so you wanted them to trade for Myles Garrett for $40 million. Oh, Trey Hendrickson. Oh, you want to give Josh Sweat $76 million?
Yeah.
For the record, I would have. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that there are a lot of bargain bin options out there that I think are very intriguing. And you know me, I'm not afraid to play Moneyball from a time to time. Are they the most ideal? Not necessarily. Do they all have flaws? Yes. But I am going to present you a few different edge rushers that are available. I got a list of some of their numbers that they've put up, some of the numbers that they've done throughout their career. JB, there's one specifically that I want you to do. Last has a very recent Detroit connection. I think you'll be able to tell which one it is. But put up any other one of them first, and we can profile
because
it.
I got a top three, man.
Yes.
I'm hoping I'm not the only one in Detroit who wants to see Big Z back. I liked what he did. He was in this room, wants to be here. You guys have talked about Matthew Judon, and then Von Miller is another one that I've seen a lot of people out there intrigued with. And so I'm looking forward to the breakdown.
Hey, funny.
Well, speaking of Von Miller.
Yeah, just put up Von Miller. And Von Miller, unfortunately, according to Spot Track, does not have a calculated market value as of yet. But Von Miller, last season, he had 6 sacks, 8 quarterback hits, 32 pressures in 13 games, has 7 double-digit sack seasons, which I think when talking about Von Miller, that's kind of irrelevant now, but because out of all the players on this list, he's by far the one with the best career. He's a no-doubt first-ballot Hall of Famer. But the reason why those double-digit sack seasons aren't necessarily relevant now is because in 2025, he is going to be 36 years old, and he has had some recent injuries. He's certainly somebody that I'm not paying more than 10 million AAV, and probably even much less than that. It's just on Spot Track. He does not have a calculated market value. Anybody interested in Von Miller for a AAV deal with 1 year of less than 10 million?
He wouldn't make the veterans minimum, but what would you pay him? What, around 5-6 million for 1 year?
I mean, yeah.
In terms of the guarantee?
Yeah. I wish that there was like a calculated market value. There isn't. For some of the others, there is. But for this one, I would just say anything less than 10 is a starting point. I would probably want like 5 or 6. But he is Von freaking Miller.
Absolutely.
He did play very well last year.
Did he get hurt at any point last year?
Well, he played 13 games. So I think
okay.
I'm not sure if he did or not. But he's had like, I think a couple injuries recently.
And it's all within the context of realistically depth, because I know that all of us now are probably on that precipice of getting somebody else as it relates to a vet, and then go ham in the draft if you can get another 1 or 2. And that's where, when I look at Von Miller, I'm not looking at him the same way we had to when we first got Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith was here because Hutch went down. Who's Zadarius Smith or Von Miller or anybody else they're going to pick up is asked now to be in a rotation to be able to complement and support. And that's where it's like, you know what, if you can bottle up the best of Von Miller and control that usage and utilize him to his peak, that's where some of these players, I know Flannel was going to highlight, that's where they do become a little bit more intriguing than knowing that the whole weight of the world has to be on.
No, absolutely. At this point, he is a rotational piece, and I think we all know that. But just based on IQ alone and just the history of him being a dog in this league, I feel like he is the type of player that would come in and fit this culture right away. I do feel like he is somebody that could contribute. I mean, 6 sacks last year, that's nothing to sneeze at, man, at the age that he's at. So I would take a chance on it. I would. It's a low risk, low money deal. You come in for a year, show us what you got, and hopefully we can make a run at this thing.
Yeah, and you know what, chat family, I want to know your top 1, 2, or 3 options of what's left out there right now for the defensive line as well as we go through these things.
Yep.
But Flannel.
Hey, I've got a few more, so maybe there'll be some you like better, maybe there won't be. Put another one up, Mr. JBSmooovv.
Let's go with this one.
Azeez Ojulari, 2024. He had 6 sacks, 10 quarterback hits, 22 quarterback pressures in only 11 games. He has never had a double-digit sack season because, aside from his rookie year, he has been bit by the injury bug quite often. If it wasn't for that, he would probably be commanding a lot more money, and heck, maybe even the Giants would have re-signed him. But the good news is, in his 2025 season, he is going to be 25 years old, and his Spotrac calculated market value is $7.6 million AAV. Is anybody interested in taking a spin on Mr. Azeez Ojulari?
Hell yeah, and I'm locking him up for multiple years.
You've been consistent.
Yeah.
You've been consistent there.
Multiple years. I mean, the age alone intrigues me. I still think he has a lot of upside left in his game. He has dealt with injuries early in his career, but I do think it's something that maybe you can weather that storm with him. He's somebody that's produced. Like, you see the pressure numbers. He can get to the quarterback, and I feel like maybe in this system with a little more talent around him, he will be able to shine a little bit more. But absolutely, you lock him up for at least 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, the only thing, literally, I would say the only thing with Azeez Ojulari in terms of being a slam dunk is 2022 he missed 10 games, 2023 he missed 6, 2024 he missed 6. So that's closer to half the games missed than played than you would certainly like. But at the end of the day, that doesn't usually bother Brad Holmes.
Yeah.
To be serious, I'm
we haven't dealt with that.
I'm not even trying to make a joke or be funny. That doesn't usually bother Brad Holmes, and that makes him depreciated. Azeez Ojulari is not a $7.5 million a year talent. He's damn near, he's probably like a $15 million a year talent. So if he were to come here and be on this defensive line opposite from Aiden Hutchinson, and oh, by the way, even though he's been most of his career more of a 3-4 linebacker, he's got some experience putting his hand in the dirt as well.
Yeah.
I think that could be a good situation for him, although his situation last year, even though the Giants were terrible, the pass rushers were actually pretty good, but he was good. So Azeez Ojulari, I think, out of all of the guys that I'm about to profile, he is definitely the one who is the youngest and definitely has the most upside, and it's not even close.
Yeah,
not even close.
And I'm looking at the chat too, and it's a little bit of a mixed bag, but people are more on the side of, you know what, I wouldn't mind the Lions taking a chance on Azeez Ojulari here. I'm glad that they're in a position realistically where they're able to look at securing a foundation of depth. And that's where, when you look at a player like Azeez Ojulari, who could potentially be a stopgap for a couple years, especially depending on what you can, what price point you get him at, because that to me is what helps you with that long-term longevity. Hutch is going to have to get paid soon, and you still want to keep your flexibility and your financially in the coming seasons as well. And so if you get a player that you think can be there for a certain amount of time, and they have the luxury, in my opinion, to not have to put a whole lot of usage on them, so to speak, to be able to take better advantage of the fact that he's going to get some discount players.
Yeah. And young pass rushers just don't become available, you know, at his price point too often. And somebody that can produce like he can, I think this would be a move that they seriously need to look into. He'd be top of my list right now.
Yep, and the best part is, and with all of these guys I'm about to mention, they are all still available. I know we've talked a lot about how, you know, guys like Chase Young and Josh Sweat and Leonard Floyd, Joey Bosa have just fallen off the board in the last few days. But these guys, I think you're going to see, including with the last two, that there are some very interesting and intriguing options. And I think Azeez Ojulari is the most intriguing of all, just for his upside and his age alone. But he's not the only one. JBSmooovv, put another one on up, if you would, please.
What about Mr. Matt Judon?
Matt Judon.
Come on down.
Last season, he did play 17 games. He had 5.5 sacks. He had 9 hits. He had 25 pressures. The hits and pressure numbers really just are mind-boggling for somebody like Matt Judon. He does have 2 double-digit sack seasons. He is going to be 33 years old in the 2025 season, which really gives me personally some concern about his lack of production last year. But look at that SpotTrack calculated market value, 4.2 million AAV. I don't know if anybody's expected value dropped more over last year than Matt Judon, but I'll tell you what, I really don't like how he performed last year. Probably because I was expecting a lot of him, and to me, he failed in his mission of really being that missing piece on the Falcons' defense. But it's not just injury issues that make you depleted. Maybe it just wasn't a fit.
Yeah,
it could have
that's what I'm
been.
thinking.
And maybe the Lions are just a better fit, and you would get to play opposite Aiden Hutchinson. The one thing that gives me a little cause for pause about Matthew Judon is he has been more of a 3-4 linebacker. But at the end of the day, what have I said? None of these prospects are perfect, or else they wouldn't have calculated values of under 10 million, and they wouldn't be available. I said prospect. I mean players, but you understand what I'm saying.
I mean, they're still free agent prospects, and you know what? When we're going through exercises like this, and I look at what the Detroit Lions did to go into their defense and make sure they could be fortified going into next year with the coaches and such they brought in, including Rodgers, that's where I'm like, okay, these players have an opportunity to come to the Lions. They have an opportunity to step into a situation right away where there are expectations. They have a locker room that's going to big them up. I still take and weigh very, very heavily what Carlton Davis said about Dan Campbell in that locker room, and that's where I don't want to look at these players as just what they are, but also what Dan Campbell and co will be able to do with them, what their teammates are going to be able to do as well. And that's what makes me honestly excited about the prospects of them going out there and adding another vet and adding a couple more of these young pass rushers in the draft. And it's largely because of the culture that they already have in place. They're not stepping. We've seen in past regimes these types of things happen, and it didn't really work out because the locker room wasn't together, or they didn't have the coaching together, or when they in the front office was whack, or they would have the front office together and the coaching wasn't together. Yeah. Now you have this thing that's working in totality, which makes me realistically very comfortable with them doing things like this.
KG, I know you mentioned Matt Judon before. So
yeah.
Sell me Matt Judon.
Well, I still think he is somebody that has something left in the tank. I do understand how it went in Atlanta, but there was a lot of things going wrong in Atlanta. I don't personally think it was him. I think it was more of just a scheme misfit. The defensive coordinator over there just didn't have a good grasp because they had a lot of talent. They just underperformed on that Atlanta defense.
And that's what I mean. Like stepping into the Lions culture, stepping into their success, stepping into their environments, their coaches, they know what they're doing versus like what you're highlighting, contrasting with the Falcons.
Exactly. I feel like a fit here would work a little bit better just based on the people he's playing around. And I know Kelvin Shepard can, he'll be able to draw up some stuff. But you're looking at a guy, 5.5 sacks, not bad. I know his numbers are down across the board, but overall, this is still somebody, a younger veteran. Like if it was him versus Von Miller, I would definitely choose Matt Judon in this situation if we're comparing the two players.
And I personally would choose Von Miller, but that's the thing. There's good and bad to all of these prospective free agents.
He's more available as well, Matt Judon. So
he was available.
Yeah, that's a big key.
He did play all 17 games, and there's definitely 36 for Von Miller. That is a dirty age when it comes to edge rushers. But I thought Von Miller was much better last year than Matt Judon. But
if he wasn't productive, he would be out of a job. So
absolutely. But there is one more name before we get to the big one at the end. But throw up the next one, JBSmooovv, if you would, please.
Yep, one Mr. Dante Fowler Jr.
Dante Fowler Jr. Just like Matt Judon, he was very available last season, 17 games. unlike any other player that I have mentioned or will be mentioning, he had double-digit sacks last season, 10.5 in 2024, 12 quarterback hits, 44 pressures. I really like that number. 2 double-digit sack seasons, including last year. He is going to be 31 years old in 2025, which it's weird because I feel like he just came into the NFL. Man, time flies. And his Spotrac calculated market value is $5.2 million AAV. Dante Fowler Jr., are you guys interested?
I am interested. I feel like this is maybe the most realistic out of all of the moves that we named so far. I can see him fitting in with this Lions culture. Once again, you're playing with a lot of talent on this defensive line, so that can also open him up a bit. I like his speed off the edge, and this is the kind of prototype that I would like to see bookend with Aiden Hutchinson. Is he perfect? No, he's not a complete pass rusher, but he is somebody that can get to the quarterback effectively. I would be on board with this move.
Dante
Absolutely.
Fowler Jr., to me, what's interesting about him, and it might not be relevant anymore, is that out of all the guys that I've profiled and will profile, I got one more name after this, he's the one to me that has had the most inconsistencies throughout his career. You could say Azeez Ojulari, but his biggest problem has been injury. But he's had some good years. He's had some, when Dante Fowler Jr., he's had some good years. He's had some years where it just didn't seem like it was a fit. But this season, I would say, was his best year since he was with the Rams in 2019. And let's be honest, I know that it's not all about sacks, but if you can put a guy that could give you 10.5 sacks opposite Aiden Hutchinson, it would be absolutely dangerous. And he is somebody who has been both a 4-3 defensive end and even played some Sam linebacker last year. So he is very versatile, and he's produced no matter what position he's been in. It's just his production over his career has been relatively inconsistent, but he's had some highs, and he usually at least gives you some sack production.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for this last review, and I got to ask you guys, too, who's your top 3 after that?
Ooh, that is interesting. But here's the big number. I mean, the big name. And WeezyD313, look away. It is one Mr. Zadarius Smith.
Big Z.
Isn't it funny how you look at some of these numbers and it's like, man, Zadarius Smith put up the better numbers than any of them last year. 17 games, also very available. 9 sacks, 17 quarterback hits, which is excellent. 63 pressures, which is also excellent. He has 3 double-digit sack seasons plus the 9 last year. His age in his 2025 season is 33. I think his biggest defect to coming back is we already got rid of him. And I don't know if Zadarius Smith himself wants to come back on a super cheap contract. He does not have a Spotrac AA calculated market value either, because I think it has to do with the fact that he was just cut a couple of days ago. But is anybody interested in bringing back Zadarius Smith on a cheaper deal? Hey, there we go.
Fired up there, man. Like seriously, out of the whole list of players, he's number 1 for me because he's the one that I do believe in. If something happened, knock on wood, he's shown that he can at least step up and bring you something in that place as well. Some of these other players were talking about who they would be within the prospects of depth, but we saw Zadarius Smith honestly be more than serviceable when the depth disappeared as well. And that makes me more comfortable in terms of his name on this list than a lot of the others, because we know he messes with the locker room. We know that he's going to be a leader and respected in the locker room, but on the field, he did perform. And he performed without kind of all of the fixings around him. The one thing that we were all sitting here saying after that loss and before they released him is we can't wait to see Big Z and with playing with Hutch, playing with a healthy defensive line. And the numbers, they don't lie either. So it's like, for me, he is number 1 on that list. I just like a lot of the things that he brings to the table, and I do believe we got to wait to see what that money's going to be like, because I know you guys both kind of feel he might be a person who can go out there and get one okay contract before the end of that career.
Yeah,
KG, you interested?
It's funny because I don't hear all that Jag shit now. Where it's at, you don't know what you got till it's gone. But this is like top of the list because one, he's already been in the building and we already got a taste of what he could bring. And unfortunately, we still are left wondering what would him and Hutch, bookend to each other look like. So I think there's a lot in the tank for Zadarius Smith. You can bring him back. I do think he would be open to a cheaper contract because he knows the game at this point. He knows, his best money-making days are probably over, but why not come to, one of the better situations in the NFL? You got a chance at winning a Super Bowl, and you get to beat up on some of the teams that didn't believe in you. I think Zadarius is a perfect fit here. I would love to see him back, but it's just all about price point.
And that's the thing, KG. I love that you mentioned that because 3.5 of his 4 sacks during his time with the Lions were against divisional opponents last year.
Yep.
So that's really where he wreaked the most havoc, and it was a really close divisional race. A lot of those Zadarius Smith plays that he was making, particularly at the end of the Thanksgiving game against Caleb Williams, which sent them into an absolute tailspin. That was Zadarius Smith. That was Zadarius Smith who played a really good game against the Vikings in the last game of the season to clinch the division. He also played very well against the Packers. The man he produced. And when you look at his numbers that I put up, this is last year versus all of the others that I put up. He had the best season by the numbers. If you're one of those people like Wheezy who wants to add a bunch of caveats, maybe some of them are somewhat fair, but you can't argue. The pressure numbers, the hits numbers, those are better than anybody else I mentioned on this. And he did a lot of that for us last year.
And listen, we know he's not a perfect player. Like, we're not just glazing him for no reason, though. Like, this guy is still very, very productive for his age. Double-digit sack guy this late into his career. And he's a perfect fit for this team. We've already seen what it could look like. But I want to see what it looks like if he's not the focal point of what offenses look at as, that's their best pass rusher. Let's just take him out the game.
Exactly. That is where my mind is at. That's where all of ours has been. That's where people's minds were before. I don't know how the winds, some of the winds changed so quickly as it relates to the Zadarius Smith conversation. But I get why the Lions, they had to do what they had to do. You talking about the long-term success. You got to protect that cap as you move forward, especially you're about to shell out some big cash on that defensive line already. And if you're going into the draft, it's going to be more investment there as well. But a Big Z is one that I'm hoping if they can find a way to get him back here, honestly, even if you have to sweeten it with like a second-year deal, I feel like you do that for a guy like that who you can trust in your system. And that's the biggest point, is the fact that he's no longer going to be the one that we're asking to carry really the brunt of the work on that defensive line. Now we're just asking him, hey, can you step in next to some dogs like Aleem and when he gets back, and Hutch, and do some work, and whoever the young guys that they go and get in this draft.
Yeah, I would feel more comfortable with him starting over a Davenport. But if you have Davenport in rotation with him, then I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah, and honestly, that I'm for it because I would have paid him his salary and his signing bonus and just kept him anyway, but that's all right. Yeah. It would be a Brad Holmes masterclass if you could get him cheaper. But before we move on, how about each of us give our top 3 if we had one? Would you like me to start, or who wants to go first?
I mean, I did from the start. I was like, look,
go ahead.
Zadarius, Judon, Von Miller.
Ooh,
that's the 3.
All the old heads, huh?
All the OGs.
All the old heads.
OGs.
Hey, I'm not mad at it. My top 3 out of that list, of course, Zadarius, just because he's already been here. Azeez Ojulari is number 2, and I would put Dante Fowler as a 3.
I have the exact same list as you, KG. I got Zadarius Smith because of his production was better than any of those guys, and he's got the familiarity. I've got Azeez Ojulari at 2 because of the potential upside, and I got Dante Fowler Jr. at 3, more by default because I really am turned off by Matthew Judon's season last year, and 36 years old is really tough. That's a really tough age for a Von Miller. And Dante Fowler Jr. is a little bit less long in the tooth than those guys anyway.
There are some great options out there still for what we're talking about. Yep. Obviously, you're not looking for the home run hitter, but you're looking for somebody who can get home just a little bit. And when you look at what they can do with that depth, and I saw how they were able to churn things with their secondary last year because of that depth, is where I do say, you know what? What if this team actually doesn't get decimated by injuries and they're able to use a rotation rather than have to up the usage of their third and fourth and then practice squad, and then guys are signing just off the street effectively. When they have an opportunity to just kind of set the rotation and just let that ride out, that's where I believe we're going to see this Detroit Lions defense take a big step forward next year, especially when you consider the maturation of a guy like Terry Arnold as in the secondary.
Well, and that's why my final caveat on this is, even with someone like Matt Judon, who I'm not high on, I would find a reason to be okay with it if they gave up like $4.2 million. And with Von Miller, the same thing. If they gave him a cheap contract and said, we want you to be in a rotation, we want you to play opposite Aiden Hutchinson, I would be okay with it, because of right now, and maybe I'm being a little doomsday and fear-mongering, I don't want Marcus Davenport as starting edge rusher opposite Hutch. I don't trust him enough. I want a rotation.
I think the Lions realize that at this point.
I want a rotation.
Yeah, you can't have that same mistake twice when you're chasing the Super Bowl.
Absolutely, and there's still the draft as well, but I would like them to get one of these guys and then draft another edge rusher. Why not?
Yeah.
You can never have too many. And hopefully guys like Josh Paschal also take a leap. But we shall see. But JB, tell us about merch.
Yep, I will tell you about some merch. Shout out to everyone sending in super chats. We got one right here from D Hit. He said, yes, bring Z back. Clutch in our vulnerable moments. So, hey, I think we're all in the line for bringing Zadarius Smith back. So, shout out to him. Hopefully the Lions get the job done and bring him back as well. But let me tell you about some of this merch that we got going on. Head over to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. New designs for you every single week. But I got to tell you about the ones we got here up on screen. The LFG Red Wings t-shirts, hoodies out right now. And you can't forget about the Woodward Tigers as well, too, because opening day is right around the corner, and I know you need to be decked out in some Woodward sports gear when you're at Comerica Park, and when you're hanging out with us at the tent party as well too. Head over to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Woodward Sports is at it again, giving away more cash and prizes than anyone in Detroit. Get into our March Bracket Challenge, powered by Jug and Nathan Neurosurgery. If you have the biggest basketball brain and get first place, you win $1,000 cold, hard cash. But it doesn't stop there. Second place gets a weekend at Grand Traverse Resort in Traverse City, including brunch at Erie and golf. Third place, 2 club seats to see the Pistons versus Bucks with food and drinks courtesy of RHB Laboratories in Troy. You can pre-register now at woodwardsportsbracket.com. That's woodwardsportsbracket.com. Then, after Selection Sunday, fill out your bracket for your chance at $1,000 in cash money and more. Pick by mascot, choose by team colors, have your dog picked. No matter how you do it, go to woodwardsportsbracket.com right now and register. All powered by the best in the game, Chuck and Nathan Neurosurgery and Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
All right, Woodward sports fans, whether you're hitting the game or just simply chilling, Jars Cannabis has you covered. Jars is home to Michigan's largest line of recreational cannabis products, 27 locations across the state, 9 alone in Metro Detroit, so there's always one close nearby you. And don't fear, because if you live in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, Michigan, stores are also popping up very, very soon. But if you don't have time to visit in-store, you can always check them out online at jarscannabis.com, because you know what? I know you want to get high.
Hey, what up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward, and it's been a show. Chat family's been on one already. Definitely run up those likes. Can we satisfy that like button real quick?
Yeah, I want to see why not.
Let's satisfy that like button real quick. We got a guest on, and after that, we'll just keep the camera on KG right after that so he can introduce our guest as well.
Hey, let's do it,
so
man.
hit that like button. Treat it right. Treat it nice.
Hey, listen, I know you love the WUW Crew, man, but how about you express some of that love, man, in a very non-sexual way? But just go ahead and grease that like button with your finger, man. It's okay if it's a little sweat on there. It's okay. We don't mind it. Just wipe it off.
In a non-sexual way.
Got so like grimy with that.
I wonder if they'll put like the like button in their mouth like that barber.
Yep.
Oh, here we go with this
mouth fingering.
Mouth finger the like button.
But without further ado, this guy's been on the Wake Up Woodward before, man, back in the Broder days. But we wanted to bring him back. He's rebranded. Shout out to him. Motor City Cats is his YouTube channel. He also does work with Lions Nation Unite. And it's your boy, Motor City Don P. Motor City, what up, though, with your brother?
What up, though?
What up, though?
Good to have you back.
Hey, man, I'm loving the Detroit. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can.
Hey, look, man, I'm loving the Detroit vibes as well, man. I feel like I need to go and throw some buffs on right now. But
I know.
You know what? Welcome to the show again, man. It's good to see you thriving. And you know what? One question I gotta ask you just off rip is this. To this point,
go ahead.
What is the grade that you give Brad Holmes in free agency?
Oh man, you just
setting you up off the rip.
He's gonna go right at it. He's gonna go right at it. Hold on, can I do something first though?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to let you know because I'm back.
Hey, shout out, man.
And one more thing. Since y'all had that conversation a few days ago, I just want to chime in on my opinion. You ready?
Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke a bitch?
Let's go!
Hey, you damn right. Wayne Brady all day, man.
Hey, you know what? You know what, man? My guy last night as well at the LCA, one of my homies, man, one of the attendants, he was like, Wayne Brady, man, I'm so glad y'all picked Wayne Brady. That is the only one. And I was like, dope.
Who knew that was such a?
We're talking about that.
Yeah. Who knew that was such a debatable topic? Like,
hey, man, listen. The time change lets me tap back into y'all before when the time was like I was asleep. I'm not gonna lie. But the grade I'm giving Brad Holmes right now in free agency.
Oh, I know it's gonna. You gonna grade him harsh. I see it.
All right, I'm gonna try to be pragmatic with it. All right, because you got to keep your Lions news pragmatic. That's what I do.
Damn right.
So I'm gonna give him a B. I'm not gonna give him the C. The reason is because I feel like if you look at the Roy Lopez signing, it was necessary. We needed to have a Roy Lopez. There's film on him doing the type of thing that we need him to do. We played against him when we played the Cardinals. It's film of him stuffing David Montgomery in the hole, so being stout against the run. I think he had like 18 pressures. He had some quarterbacks hits, some sacks, forced fumbles, things of this nature. So it's film of him getting in the backfield, wreaking havoc. He may not be a household name, but I think he'll fit in pretty well here, especially with everyone coming back healthy. Levi Onwuzurike, we needed somebody. Levi Onwuzurike has 3 half sacks. I did not say he had 3.5. I said he had 3 half sacks in 17 games. He was projected to make some crazy amount of money, and obviously on the contract year, he didn't do what he needed to do, so they brought him back on an incentive-laden deal so he could try to prove himself again and maybe get to the open market or be re-signed by the Lions. I don't know. Where I wanted to put the C in was, and it's a bit of an overreaction. I'm going to go ahead and kumbaya with Sam here. We're anxious. We're anxiously waiting for something to happen outside of Marcus Davenport. KG was on with me, and I was like, I'm going to be in Marcus Davenport's corner because I feel like he's really been affected by all of these injuries. I feel like football is something that he really loves, and it was taken away from him. So when you saw his press conference, he was very kind of measured in his responses, very thoughtful, but you could see he was going through it. So I'm like, man, I really want this guy to succeed. Now, I also want to wake up every morning with a fresh $1 million in my bank account, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Right.
So we need somebody else outside of Marcus Davenport. We cannot go into the draft. I'm not even saying the season, the draft, with Marcus Davenport as our bookend with Hutch. There's too much riding on the draft for you to have to go ahead and draft an edge rusher. Maybe you have to reach for a guy. Maybe you make a bad trade. I don't know. In Brad, we trust, as they say. So I'll give him the B. I'll settle on it. B minus. B minus.
I'm so glad that you mentioned it because I think it's going to be a big battle with me and the chat and with some of the other hosts at my network because and I understand Marcus Davenport's on a very cheap contract, very incentive laden, which is about what he should get. But the amount of people who had never thought of Marcus Davenport since week 3 of the 2024 season that are basically now giving him under the table fellatio and saying you're stupid for having any doubt makes me want to commit homicide. I'm not even kidding.
Under the table is wild.
But anywho, there's a question as well. So what has been your favorite move?
Sounds like a scene you gotta pay for
of the Lions off season so far.
$59.99 for the new releases.
My favorite move it has to be DJ Reed, because we replaced a dog with another dog. I mean Carlton Davis, and I'm probably gonna talk about him later on in my show, 7 p.m. Houston. Everybody come check it out if you haven't. With Carlton Davis leaving, that was going to leave a mixture of Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw. I'm actually somewhat of a Terrion Arnold guy. As a former corner myself, I understand what he's going through and I understand what he needs to do to fix it, and it's really not that much that he needs to do to fix it. I think his coverage was great. He was very sticky. He was in phase. He would get handsy because he was kind of not trusting his technique. And he kind of cleaned that up towards the middle, the end of the season. But if you had him coming out there being your cornerback 1, and then you had Ennis Rakestraw, we don't know what Ennis Rakestraw is going to do on the NFL level because he could not stay on the field based on his soft tissue injuries, which was something that I had a problem with in the pre-draft process before we drafted him, the soft tissue injuries. And we saw that they cropped up and wouldn't allow him to stay on the field. So DJ Reed, for that reason, it has been my favorite move so far.
And Don, I know you tapped in with the draft, man, and I already know a guy that you are looking at in the first round. But can you just take us through, who are some of the guys that you're looking at or looking forward to the Lions maybe drafting at 28 or even moving up in the draft to go get?
All right. So as y'all know, y'all might know and you might not know, but it's Ramadan. So I got a name for you. Jihad. All right. My man Jihad Campbell. All right. And this is another reason why I need something to happen in free agency, because I do want you to go get Jihad Campbell. I think Jihad Campbell fits everything that this team does. The versatility, or the versatility, as my man Spinny says,
shout out,
is off the charts. The man can do every single thing that a defensive player can do. Do you want a linebacker that can cover? Jihad Campbell got you. You want a linebacker that can rush the passer? Jihad Campbell got you. You want a linebacker that can play against the run? Jihad Campbell got you. How about if you want a linebacker that can put his hand in the dirt and then just go off the edge along with Hutch on the other side?
Get me fired up right now, man. I love my linebackers, bro.
Hey, that's Jihad, man. That's Jihad. So that's who I want primarily. Now, if you're talking about just an edge rusher, there's a guy, Shamar Stewart is a big name that's being, bandied about. My thing with Shamar Stewart is this. There's a caveat. I think he can be what Marcus Davenport is supposed to be because they're the same size. And I think that Marcus Davenport, his best season was 11 games, 9 sacks, right? So he can learn a lot from Marcus Davenport. But the issue is, depending on how impatient you are and how much of a window you believe that the Detroit Lions have, do the Lions have the time to develop an edge rusher? We see Hutch wasn't immediately that dude when he came in the league, right? We all knew he was going to be great, but he was the number 2 overall pick. Shamar Stewart may go in the 20s. You may have to trade up to get him. But what kind of immediate impact is he ready to have? He's very good against the run already, but we got Jalen Hurts, we got Lamar Jackson, we got Patrick Mahomes, we got Caleb Williams, we got Jordan Love. All these people are on our schedule this season. So we need someone else outside of Hutch that is going to get sacks and get to the passer now, immediately.
And you know what? And that's where my attention goes. Obviously, we were having a discussion on edge pass rush help on that defensive line. And we all kind of share the top 3. And I like Sam and KG's list. Mine, Zadarius would probably be the one I would give a couple-year deal to, and the other 2 allows you to give maybe some one-year deals and keep kicking the can down the road. But what's your strategy? What's your outlook? Do you have a top 3 so that you can do that pairing of not just in the draft, but make sure you get that veteran help as well? Some players that can step in and probably play a little bit more right away.
So Zadarius Smith is definitely my top 1 if we're talking about that list. Barring a trade, I know Albert Breer said something about it's still not too late for the Detroit Lions to trade for Trey Hendrickson, and it might not make sense to give a player who's 31 years old $30 million plus, but I would submit that if you gave him a 2-year deal and then you gave Hutch an extension, by the time Hutch's new money kicks in, Trey Hendrickson's money is off the books. So I really don't think that it is that far-fetched to be able to bring in a Trey Hendrickson. Now, if you don't do that, like I said, Zadarius Smith is my number 1. I don't understand why they released him. I understand the thing about the void years and all of that stuff. You're ballooning his salary to, what, 11, 12 million per year? Joey Bosa just got 12.6 million. Zadarius Smith came in, played 7 games, had 4 sacks. He was the lead sack getter outside of Aiden Hutchinson, who got injured in week, 5, 6?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's 7.5 sacks into perpetuity, for the rest of the season. And no one else touched that except for a guy that came in at the trade deadline, sat out the first game because he didn't have a bye week, then played 7 games and got you 4 sacks. So $12 million for that type of production, and most of his pressures came, ironically, what did he have, 67 pressures? 36 of those pressures came in Detroit when he was playing with no one else except for DJ Reader. So I don't understand letting him go. I didn't understand that one at all. Hopefully they bring him back. Maybe Cash Dog can, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Work some magic on the side. You feel me?
You know what I'm saying?
Cash Dog, help us out.
Right.
But so he would be my number 1. I probably would have Matthew Judon and Dante Fowler in there. One of my subscribers is in the chat, and he would be very upset with me if I picked Von Miller because there's allegations. So because of those allegations out there, I'm not going to pick Von Miller. Also, Von Miller's 36 and probably pretty cooked. So Matthew Judon did not help himself last season. as he made a stink to get out of New England, and then he went over to Atlanta. But Atlanta's Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So I can't really put all that against him. But yeah, I would say Za'Darius would be my number one. Dante Fowler would probably be my number two, and then Matthew Judon would come in at number three.
All right, and a lot of talk has been made not about the people that we've acquired, but more about the people that we've lost during this process. Is there anybody that you are upset that the Lions lost, or anybody that you feel like maybe they should have held on to that player?
I think we were all upset that we lost Carlton Davis. Especially after what he said on that podcast, which was I don't understand the setup of that podcast. One dude was sitting in the front, and two dudes was sitting in the back.
Was wild.
It was like a bus or a car or something. So we really thought with the way that he was gassing up Dan Campbell that he was a shoo-in for him to come back. So it was a bit surprising. And then you got Zeitler. If you want to say that Graham Glasgow was injured last year, that's fine. I don't know if he was. Let's just say he was, okay? But I would rather have Kevin Zeitler come in back and then have Christian Mahogany start on the other side of him and have Graham Glasgow rotate just based off of how he was playing at the end of the year. So Kevin Zeitler was a big blow. The biggest blow, though, like quiet as it's kept, it's Kendall Vilder, dog.
Yeah, he was essential.
Yeah.
You're right. I was
homie Vilder.
Everybody.
He was essential to this Lions defense.
Jokes.
Hey, CB1, man.
Yeah,
you can't
man.
lose to CB1.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That is tough. But I low key, I wanted to ask you this real quick too, because I didn't get to ask you this when I was on with you. But Kelvin Shepherd, me, we all get the joke. But I want to know, like, what do you think, Kelvin?
Coach.
Yep, right. What do you think me or Kelvin Shepherd will do differently with this Lions defense? Is there anything in particular that you feel like he'll do differently?
Well, first, we've never seen you two in the same room at the same time. So
that is factual.
Factual.
I can't
And
beat
you
the
were
allegation.
ironically gone, right, when he got the deal. He was
was.
gone from the show. I was like, where is KG at? And then, there's KG doing a whole press conference.
Oh, my
congratulations.
God.
Couldn't even congratulate him in person.
Sorry, man. Y'all got to know this later.
I think what he'll do differently is just the way that he approaches it. Aaron Glenn was a DB, so obviously he was DB centric. He was very man heavy, but he didn't have a lot of help on the defensive line. So I think this is one reason why I don't want to say I'm confident, but I think it's a very strong possibility that the Detroit Lions could select one Jihad Campbell in the first round, because Kelvin Shepherd is a linebacker, and I think that the things that he will be doing will be not linebacker centric, but it will be kind of from the middle of the defense back and forward. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think if you get more athletic in the linebacking core, he definitely will be able to do some crazy things. I don't want to see too many blitzes. I want them to be able to generate pressure from the front four, but I definitely believe that he will deploy linebackers in a lot more of the scheme than we saw with AG. So I think that was one of the reasons why, it was important to bring Derek Barnes back. It's important to have, Anzalone, Barnes, and Campbell. He was their direct coach, so I think there's some trust there that he can do some different things with them. So I think we'll see a lot more noticeable linebacking play in the defense.
Ooh, that's interesting. One more question from me. So obviously the Lions, they cut Za'Darius Smith and they let Kevin Zeitler walk. Assuming that Za'Darius Smith doesn't get re-signed to a cheaper deal, which player's absence will be more felt in the 2025 season?
Well, that's kind of a loaded question because then we have to see who they get in the draft. If everything were to, let's say there is no draft, everyone figured out how much Green Bay sucked and no one went there. None of the NFL teams went there to draft anyone. None of the rookies went, and they just boycotted the whole thing because it was in Green Bay. So if there were no draft, if everything were the same, I think Zadarius Smith's absence would be the most difficult to put a Band-Aid over because of the uncertainty. I don't know that it's uncertain. I mean, it's pretty much a certainty that Marcus Davenport will get injured, but I don't want to sound that way. But that's what it always happens. He doesn't play full seasons. But let's just say the uncertainty of him being able to play a full season. If he does get injured again, then who you got? You know. So if everything was in a vacuum, I would just say that the Zadarius Smith would be worse. We saw Mahogany fill in. We know he can do what he can do. Let's say Graham Glasgow can return to some form of, serviceable guard. It would be Zadarius Smith.
Hey,
because
fair
we'd
enough.
be in the exact same situation that we were in last year.
No, and I realize that there's a lot of variables that can change before the season. So you were right. That was a little bit more loaded of a question than I intended it to be, but I think you answered it very well. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
No problem.
Definitely. Hey, Motor City Don P, bro. It's good to have you back on the platform.
Yeah.
Glad that KG definitely he was very, very, very adamant, like, man, let's rock. And obviously we've had you on before, and it's always great football talk when you're on the platform as well as on your own, man. Any last words from you, Don P?
So I'm gonna surprise the chat. If you can put a toucan with me and Flannel on there.
Uh-oh. Hold on, JB cooking.
No, it's good. It's cool. It's cool.
Hold on.
It's cool. I ain't gonna do what everybody thinks I'm gonna do, which is flip out, man. No. So, Flannel Sam, as the official keeper of the JMO, I want to officially accept your apology.
Hey, I got the jersey. I have the jersey. I got nothing else to say, and I wore it, and he got 1,000 yards. What more can I say?
Hey, that's what I'm saying. I accept the apology, and we good. The kumbaya has been had. Me and Flannel Sam and all of the JMO keepers, we're good. You can join the JMO Keepers Club. Your membership will be approved.
They all come home eventually, don't they, Don? But the chat the chat absolutely loving you, bro. So plug all your channels real quick. I know you're doing stuff with Lions Nation Unite, but plug your own channel and get the people, where they can listen to you at.
Yeah, y'all can find me Monday through Wednesday. I'm off on Thursday. Got kind of a weird schedule, and I'm back on Fridays on Motor City Cats. That's my YouTube channel. Mondays, you can find me on LNU. I'm actually on both my channel and LNU simultaneously at the same time. So that is all happening at 7 p.m. Eastern. Y'all know I'm in Australia, so yes, I am giving you your times, 7 p.m. Eastern time. You can find me there. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm not as active as I should be, but I am on X at, I think it's MCDP313 on X. So give me a follow, subscribe, like, share, smash the like button for the Wake Up Woodward Crew, and it is what it is.
Hey, man. Hey, shout out to you. It's good to see you thriving, man. In that room, I got to say that it looks dope, man. Your setup is awesome. So definitely go ahead and support, and we appreciate you for supporting us too, brother.
Hey, appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thanks, Don.
Thank you, brother.
Don.
Have a blessed day. And I got to tell you guys about if you guys can behave yourselves.
What do we do?
You know we can't.
I'm talking to the chat family too.
Okay.
Because yesterday I did this read, and then all of a sudden they're asking if the barbers here put their fingers in people's mouths.
Oh, God.
Come on, guys.
You sick fucks.
At Lady James, we take the try to get a haircut. Our talented stylists will deliver an industry-leading haircut, a relaxing scalp massage, my favorite, respectfully a hot lather, a neck shave, and a respectful hot towel treatment. Ask, don't suggest, y'all. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady James Haircuts for Men is wicked awesome. And attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big D Energy, every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering you top-notch injury advice, breaking down the rehabs and the injuries of your local sports players. And so you want to trust the guy that DMAC trusts, because Dr. Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Listen, I'm not sure who, but somebody let the Tigers get hot.
The Detroit Tigers are locked and loaded for another great summer in Detroit. And it all starts downtown at the biggest home opener party in the city. Join Woodward Sports at Grand Slam Festival as we take over the Detroit Opera House parking lot. A big-ass tent for a big-ass Detroit party. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFestival.com or follow Woodward Sports on X and IG for your chance to get in for free. Party across from Comerica Park and hear the roar as the Tigers take the field for the first time in 2025. DJs, food trucks, bartenders, live broadcasts, and more. See you for the Tigers' first home game of the season, April 4th at the Grand Slam Festival with Detroit's biggest party animals, Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. We got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Buddy's Pizza has been serving the original Detroit-style pizza since 1946. And 79 years later, they have 22 locations in the great state of Michigan. And fans can still visit where it all began on the corner of 6 Mile and Conant. Sign up for Buddy's Rewards to earn points on every purchase and receive exclusive promotions. Download the Buddy's Pizza mobile app and start earning today. And add some Detroit style to your next meal. Save 10% off your entire order using promo code 10MEAL. That's the number 10 MEAL. Buddy'sPizza.com.
Hey, Les Stanford, you know what? They've got so many great deals right now. They got the 2025 Sierra Crew Cab for $249 per month and the 2024 Envision for only $239 per month. Those are spectacular deals, as well as the 2025 Hummer EV for only $789 per month. And you know what? Spencer Raxter got his car from Les Stanford, and you guys should too, because he's happy with it. And look at those deals. You just can't beat them. Les Stanford, Chevrolet.
Hey, man, it's been a show. It's been a day. A lot of TLB, and I'm glad, too, because we're at that point in the offseason where I think some fans, maybe they have forgotten exactly what the Lions are, but you do have to still look at what this team needs to do to make sure they improve going into next season. despite how good they are. So,
absolutely.
But I know everybody's favorite segment. We're gonna get into that a little bit early today. Let's get sparking word to jars. Interesting hat, JB.
I know. Sorry about that.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Viewer discretion is advised. But now here's JB.
Hey, let's rock.
I mean, it might be. What's up, chat family? Before I get into some of these videos, Kool-Aid, could you read something for me real quick?
Yeah. What's up, brother?
Can you read that on the screen real quick?
Kool-Aid said to ask for the oral fingering specialty.
Dog, he had an even funnier one. Shout out Shad, man. A respectful mouth fingering treatment. Ass don't suggest.
I swear.
Shout out Shad, man.
To me, dog. Like Kool-Aid. They said in the ad read, you said they can come get their mouth fingers.
We got some sick MFers on this chat.
I swear.
Yeah, love you guys.
Shout out to the chat.
Love you guys, but
oh shit.
Oh my god, no, yo!
That's
Shout out to
hilarious.
the chat, man. I love you guys so much. A lot of news today. Today's a big day as well too. I know yesterday was 313 day, but today is 314. If you know, you know. It is Pie Day, so Papa John's is selling pizza for $3.14 on Pie Day.
I mean, see, the problem is that's racist pizza. So I just don't know if I don't know if I'm really vibing with Papa John's, man. Like
314 is gonna get the hood though.
Yeah, really. No, it is though. Unfortunately, it is.
Freaking well, at least Shaq the owner now.
Yeah, right. But I know the history behind that pizza. It's just I don't know, man.
I don't think I've had it since.
That shit's trash.
No, for real. You said what?
That shit's trash.
I mean, Papa John's alright. It ain't my favorite, but it's alright. You know.
I would have had hot and ready for $5.
Yeah, better pizza, Papa John's.
I love pepperoncinis.
Yeah.
I just do, man.
I just don't want an N-word served with my goddamn pizza. That's all.
Well, damn.
That's just me, though. That's just me.
So you know Papa John's watching highlights of Hulkamania, brother.
No, not at all. Don't get me started on Hulk Hogan. I'll sit up here and flame him for 30 minutes straight. Yeah. Don't get me started on the Hulkster.
I was gonna say we could probably say that for Woodward ringside.
Yep.
I like Papa John's.
Oh, that explains a lot. No,
That makes sense now. Flano, that makes sense.
I'll stand in the sun with you, Flano.
He'll throw the hood on too. We know that. No, I'm talking shit. I love you, Sam.
They ain't never got a hood we talk about.
Jeez.
Anywho,
right.
Anywho,
there's no easy way to transition.
No easy way to transition out of that as well. But I know we were all excited about the college football game that came out this past year. Well, they are ramping up for college football 26, and the league cover has come out as well too, as it has cover athletes of Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith, DJ Lagway, Nick Singleton, and more.
And more. Wait, no, what? There's who?
There's more.
Say your name.
What?
The more.
There
There's
is
another player on
more.
there.
There is more. That this is just a deluxe cover, but there's also a coach's cover. And you're probably not gonna like this, but it features coaches Ryan Day, Kirby Smart, James Franklin, Lane Kiffin, Dan Lanning, and Kenny Dillingham.
Do not want.
Who the hell is them?
Do not want that.
You talking about who the hell is this?
I don't want that cover.
I mean, if you don't like that
I
cover,
want the one that has Bryce Underwood on it.
yeah,
Right.
You don't want to say his name, but it's okay.
You're not gonna get that one. But if you don't like the coaches cover as well, they are bringing back a legacy cover with Denard Robinson and Tim Tebow.
Hey, shoelace cover. Shoelace cover incoming. I need that.
I mean, his is one of the most epic of all time because it was the last one for a long time.
And it was arguably the best one. So, that game was iconic, bro. Having shoelace on the cover. Bring me the shoelace cover. I'm good on the coach cover. I do like the fact that they're incorporating multiple players into the covers, but I got to have that shoelace cover just for old time's sake.
Just for old time's sake, man. Hey, shout out once again. Hopefully you guys pick up that cover as well too. Question: do you guys know how long the lines can be at Disney World?
Very long. If you don't have a fast pass, it's tough sledding.
Kool-Aid, any idea how long those lines are?
Yes, I do. It was. Yes, I do. Trust me, I do.
Flannel, what about you?
Never been, but I can imagine. No, I haven't.
What?
Damn, see
Wait,
what?
You never see a point?
No,
Y'all
no,
tripping.
absolutely boots on the ground. Absolutely this summer. I promise you.
It's an easy trip.
It's an easy trip.
3 hours, that's it.
Yeah.
You can drive.
We'll at least go and walk.
Yeah, it's 2.5. It's not even a whole 3.
I-75.
We gotta set that up.
Yes.
Right off Sandusky.
We got to set that up. But
For real.
But speaking of Disney World, would you guys be willing to still sit in line if this happened to you? So, someone's colostomy bag busts while
Damn.
at
hell no.
Rewind at Disney World.
Damn, this shit
Holy
bag exploded.
shit.
Damn.
And if no one lines at Disney World, would you still wait in line?
Hell no.
I'm getting the fuck on.
Nah, I'm straight, bro. Y'all got to clean that shit up. Oh, my God. I'm glad this didn't happen when I went to Disney World. God damn, that's horrible.
Whole place smell like ass.
Like every now and then you gotta deal with somebody losing their lunch, but this is on a whole nother level, bro.
Yeah. Can't do the colostomy bag.
Walking this smell like ass in this bitch.
And it's crazy because depending on where you are in some of these lines, there is no way out.
Yeah, like literally.
Bro.
Yeah, that's tough. Fuck that. You can't keep me trapped in there. Like, I'm going to find a way out.
Was there one kid just like on a tablet? Like he's just in his own world?
Right.
I swear one kid's just looking down like.
I can't imagine what that smell like, bro. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's just on his tablet, bro.
He don't care. He just want to get on the ride.
Like, look, I just sat in this line for a couple hours. I need to get on this ride. But anyway, moving on. There's no easy way to set up this video. Just know she was probably laid out for a while.
Bink. Did we get a 2-for-1?
Oh my god.
Damn.
The way she fell looked like she got knocked out immediately on impact, bro.
We got a 2-for-1 special.
Oh, yeah. That was like.
Right.
Didn't even brace her.
Man down.
God.
Goodness gracious. Like she couldn't even. She got knocked out on impact. Bro, they set her up. They was like, yo, this is.
How hard are they playing in volleyball?
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't
Look at
understand
how
this.
Equipment
Bam,
manager.
right at her.
Volleyball is dangerous, man.
Liver shot.
Yeah, it is.
Hold on, dog. Is the other side
Bink.
celebrating like, yeah, we got the point? Oh, come on. Why they slap in? They set that up, dog. That's the point they wanted. Goodness gracious. Be nice to your team managers.
Yeah, be nice to your team managers. And finally, I will end what's trending with this. It's a Friday, so shout out to all the ladies up here at Lady Jane's. Come stop in, and you know what? Let them treat you nice with a nice haircut. All the stylists that we have up here as well too. But I don't know if they're getting as detailed as this guy. But you guys let me know. Once again, another barber video.
Oh no!
What the fuck is this?
Oh, you just playing with my head, nah, dog.
What?
No way.
What's he giving him? The Bart Simpson?
Are you serious?
See, my man, G,
Come on, man.
just fucking around, bro. You doing too much fucking around for my liking, dog. I'm good.
Come on, look, this precision.
Can't make a hot top fade.
Right.
Look at my man trying not to breathe.
Giving up the perfect high low top fade. Like,
Cut is just sitting there like,
how you got a high low top fade?
what? Whoa! What in the world?
Hey, look at that. Look.
No.
Remind me
Get
to
off my face. I was in a fish tank.
remind me to never go to an Asian barber. Jesus, man.
They get too mathematical in this shit.
Chase.
Oh my god, what's he doing to the tree?
Oh, yeah.
Chase with an underrated comment. You doing hair and nails.
Oh,
I'm over for the hood, dog.
You're right. You know they do it all.
They're gonna take over everything.
Shut up,
man.
y'all.
What is wrong with you, bro?
You need to line up.
Holy shit.
Like I said, the ladies here at Lady J's will take care of you, but I don't think they're getting that in depth and detail. But shout out to all the ladies as well. Shout out to this guy as well. That's it for what's trending, you guys. Let's hop into some mailbag.
Hey, man.
JBSmooovv is on one, dog. That was an epic. That was an epic one today.
Chase, you wild, man. You wild, Chase.
We got Do we got any more friends to say what up, though, to JBSmooovv?
Yeah.
They do hair and nails.
Mark White, Bracket Challenge, and Feldman once again.
Hey.
Let's we'll read a couple and then we'll come back to. We'll take a quick break and come back with.
Yeah, we can take a quick break. Yeah.
That's right.
Hey, dream of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
And after you do that, sign up for the Bracket Challenge because we're giving away more cash and prizes than anyone in Detroit. Get into our March Bracket Challenge powered by Jugganathan Neurosurgery. If you have the biggest basketball brain and get first place, you will win $1,000 of cold hard cash. Second place gets a weekend at Grand Traverse Resort in Traverse City, including brunch at Erie and golf. And third place, of course, you get 2 club seats to see the Pistons take on the Bucks with food and drinks courtesy of RHB Laboratories out in Troy. You can pre-register as of right now at woodwardsportsbracket.com, and then after Selection Sunday, fill out your brackets for your chance to win $1,000. Go to woodwardsportsbracket.com right now and register, all powered by the best in the game, Jugganation Neurosurgery and Woodward
and
Sports.
I'm about to drop that link in the chat as well. So, hey, you guys get there. Give yourselves an opportunity again to win some of this stuff, man, especially those Pistons tickets. So I'm going to drop that link in the chat. You guys get your brackets done now. And I'm trying to convince them to do something interesting for the chat family members that do that as well. So maybe a pizza party, maybe something, but we shall see. I just dropped that in the chat. So.
Yep, we'll be right back.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout?
Yeah, that show's fucking hilarious.
And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone? That
Yeah, no, you was on point.
all day long?
I was trying to lead away from the stereotypes that yo ass for the top row. Oh, they do hair and nails in there
Online
too.
or in club.
Yeah.
Start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Right. No, that's a good
Sports
point.
is at it again, giving away more.
Hey, I wear that though. You already know.
Detroit. Get into our March Bracket Challenge, powered by Jugganathan Neurosurgery.
Oh, we got
If
hot
you
bite.
have the biggest basketball brain and get first place, you win $1,000 cold hard cash. But it doesn't stop there. Second place gets a weekend at Grand Traverse Resort in Traverse City, including brunch at Erie and golf. Third place, 2 club seats to see the Pistons versus Bucks with food and drinks courtesy of RHB Laboratories in Troy. You can pre-register now at woodwardsportsbracket.com. That's woodwardsportsbracket.com. Then, after Selection Sunday, fill out your bracket for your chance at $1,000 in cash money and more. Pick by mascot, choose by team colors, have your dog pick. No matter how you do it, go to woodwardsportsbracket.com right now and register. All powered by the best in the game, Jugganathan Neurosurgery and Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Hey, Feldman Chevrolet of Novi, Detroit's #1 Chevrolet dealer and the Chevrolet Dealer of the Year for 6 consecutive years. They've got deals this month. Get a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 crew cab for just $199 a month. You can also get a 2025 Chevy Equinox for only $249 a month. Come see George Haas and his team at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi.
What up, though, people? It's Wake Up Woodward, and we appreciate you, chat family, for kicking off today with the WUW Crew. Go ahead and smash that like button if you haven't gotten an opportunity to. And you know what? Let's get those Feldman questions in. I see one already here. IT Hips Feldman Mailbag. Why did the Pistons not play Asar Thompson at all in the fourth quarter? And that is definitely a question that a lot of people are asking. With how brief the the post game press conference was. We didn't get the opportunity to ask, but I know that's going to be a question that comes up the next availability we get, which will probably be shoot around Saturday, because we already got the word that I believe practice is canceled for today.
That was certainly a head scratcher, and honestly, in the last few games, Asar, his play has dipped a bit. His usage has dipped a bit. Hopefully he can get back to being the player that he was in the month of February, because he was on a roll. But I definitely do not agree with him not playing in the fourth quarter. Yeah. I don't think that was one of JB Bickerstaff's better games.
No, he and Stu should have gotten many more minutes. But there were other things as well that went down, and I wondered, was he trying to switch the matchups for shooting versus at a time where they kind of went into a slump? But I do believe that the calling card, and it's a learning process of a game for all of them, is to lean heavily on your defense no matter what. Yeah. Just defense is what's gotten them to this point. It's what's taken really the biggest leap when you look across the board at this team. I want to see them go that route more often than not.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
What about KG? Anything on that one?
No, because I didn't get a chance to tap into the game last night, but I'm sure it's something that they'll fix. Of course, you don't want to take a loss like that to a team like that, but it is what it is, man. They'll brush themselves off and get back out there. So. Yeah,
and I know they do got the game tomorrow against SGA and the OKC Thunder.
Big test.
Mm-hmm. That is a big test, and you want to see this team get right back to it. But again, it's another one of those games where I'm not going to crush them too much. Obviously, we will break it down. We will critique. We will say what, some aspects and areas where we wanted them to be better. One of them, to me, is the lineup management in that fourth quarter, similar to what you stated as well, Flannel. But I'm not going to discount them in this game either. They have shown up, especially in the second part of the season, against some of these better teams they've had on the schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. Also wanted to point out that the March 19th game against the Miami Heat, that got flexed to be an ESPN primetime game, I believe. So maybe we could throw a watch party, maybe something on the agenda.
Definitely going it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
We need to definitely have more of those who want to be able to share these moments more and more with the chat family. But just quickly, one more on the Pistons. How encouraged are you guys with the outlook? We're coming down the season. We talk about this with the Red Wings. For me personally, I'm very encouraged with this Pistons team. I believe 46 wins is still within reach, but it's going to take a lot of character and a lot of growth. And if they fall short of that, the grand scheme of everything right now is that this team took some major steps forward.
Yeah, there's no question that the direction is right. The turnaround is incredible. I like that they have a lot of accountability after what happened. You can't ever take an opponent lightly again. Yeah. And I think, as I said, a dose of humble pie usually comes first, and then the actual contention comes later. Hopefully this is the dose that the Pistons needed. I think it will be.
And you can't win every game in the NBA. We all know that. But barring an epic collapse.
Even your business handling will.
Exactly. But barring an epic collapse, losses like this happen. But as long as you're able to right the ship and not, repeat these patterns, they'll be fine. Everything is in front of this team right now. They have already over-exceeded expectations. They're going to be a playoff team. They're going to be a threat in the playoffs. So I'm happy. Just keep going. And like I said, barring an epic collapse, they'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely. And let me see. I thought I saw another one that just came in here. Oh, Steve Baffy, Feldman Mailbag. Who is your draft crush? And I'm going to assume NFL draft crush.
As far as player or as far as player for the Lions?
Let's go player for the Lions.
Crush? Kenneth Grant. That would be my crush. If he fell to 28, I would do backflips off of this table.
Okay, before I go to you, JBSmooovv, who is your NFL draft crush for the Detroit Lions?
Well, I know it's not going to happen, but Abdul Carter.
Oh, yeah.
I would love that, but I know it's not going to happen. It's just a pipe dream for me.
I love Abdul Carter so much. So much.
I wonder what it would look like, man. I know it's not going to happen, but part of me is just I wonder what it would look like. We pondered Hendrickson. We pondered Max Crosby. We pondered Myles Garrett. Is there a real world to ponder that in?
You got to trade up to the top 3 to get him. That'd just be a tough road. But mine, I think we all know James Pierce Jr., just based on that speed coming off the edge. I would love to see something like that next to Hutch. But we can dream, right? We can dream.
We can dream. And looking in here for another one. Feldman Mailbag, Jordan from MI. How much do you think the playoffs will help the Pistons grow? Also, who is one free agent you target for them to go after this season? I'm going to definitely have a breakdown of the free agent list. I more or less am hoping they can go after somebody potentially in the acquisition market rather than just a sign a free agent. But I'm hoping that it's a player that plays the forward position. I'm still looking at, even on the high end, some people like Aloy Markkinen, who's been popping up on the radar for some years as a player that the Utah Jazz potentially want to part with. But like Rod always says, when you're dealing with a Danny Ainge, be prepared to have to pay a whole lot. But I do believe that a player like that paired with a Cade Cunningham and a Jalen Durham would be
amazing.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I would say as far as the playoffs helping this greatly, because they're gonna, assuming that they don't tailspin the rest of the season, which I don't think they will, they're going to be in the playoffs and not the play-in, which means I think they'll play at the absolute least a competitive series with whoever their round one opponent is, and that always helps teams. As far as free agents goes, slow your roll. I'm not even thinking about that right now. I checked the list briefly, and I'm like, that's a segment for later on down the road.
Right, but I mean, even we've come a long way in just a year. Like, you know, the previous year, agents were literally telling players, don't go to Detroit. Now you're looking at this as probably a destination city. You know, we've already been in the early odds to get Devin Booker. Still don't know how realistic that is, but I'm sure there is going to want to be people that want to come play with Cade Cunningham, and that's the benefit of having, you know, one of the up and coming elite stars in this league is that, you know, they want to come play with him.
Yeah, and that's something to definitely look at, and I think it also has to do with the fact that the young players, there's a good foundation. Mm-hmm. They know that they're not just walking into something that's rudderless and that has no hope for future. And that's what Blake Griffin walked into. And people say he didn't want to come to Detroit. I don't think it had anything to do with the city because he had a lot of extracurricular success here, especially with his comedy career. But as it related to the way forward for this team, it just wasn't much hope there. But now you have good young players, good, you know, great president of basketball operations. I'm going to just put that out there. A really, really, really good coach and JB Baker staff, good development staff, good scouts, really, really good scouts. The organization is in a very, very healthy place for anybody looking to get from one of those dysfunctional teams. You know, there's a lot of those players who are on their second and third contracts, really their second contracts, who are on dysfunctional teams looking for a third contract and such, where that's where I believe Trajan Langdon is going to really be able to strike. We see how Brad Holmes is doing things with some of these budget signings. Trajan Langdon is going to have that availability open to him, same way he was able to pick up a Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, I believe that.
I definitely am looking forward to it in the playoffs. There was something that Cade said. He said, I thought I knew how to work for the NBA, but I didn't know until after my first season. Now I know. That's what was so devastating about his second season getting taken away from him. Mm-hmm. But the years after that, he was like, now I know how to do it. And every step of the way, these are things that I believe helps this team grow. When you get into the playoffs, now you understand the level of intensity that comes with those types of teams on a nightly basis of who you have to be. That standard we're talking about. So I can't wait for this team and to see how they respond to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's the last of the coming of age checklist. You got to be able to know what that playoff atmosphere is like, and they will get a taste of that, and that's only going to help them. So.
Was there a question that you saw that you wanted to talk about? I see a couple more here. They're all Pistons ones, man. So I'm just like, we're going to keep with the Pistons or keep it going?
No, we can keep with the Pistons. I'm good.
Feldman Mailbag. What is it about Detroit teams and Washington teams they're supposed to beat? That's from Skydog, man. Hey, that was one that we all know they should have had. It just dropped. But Mitten Maid, when are the Pistons going to update the logo jersey outside of the Bad Boys theme? Our ish is bland. I don't know, man. I like some of the things. Some of the classics. I like the new Detroit jerseys they got this year.
Bland jerseys, I don't have a problem with bland jerseys. You know, Mr. Vanilla Sam, so that's okay.
Randall Smalls, Feldman Mailbag. Bold statement. Tigers will have the best pitching in all of baseball and will be in the World Series versus the Dodgers, who will be number 2 in pitching. Tigers in 6.
God damn. You got a lot of faith, big dog.
Far-fetched, but
how you guys feeling about these Tigers, though? It's coming up.
I've been somebody who's been more bullish than some, as long as they stay healthy. Do I think their pitching could be the best in Major League Baseball? Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I don't think that that's a crazy statement at all.
Once again, we just worried about the offense. what is the offense going to look like?
Hey, you know what? Talking about the offense, Mr. Javi Watch over there himself, Stephen David, Mailbag. How do you feel about Javi at third base?
I mean, you got to do something there because you have nothing. I mean, no offense to Jace Young. He's still very, very young in the process. And Matt Vierling was going to be your guy. He's hurt. We don't know how long he's going to be hurt for. You got to do something because there's not really nobody you can acquire at this point. So if Javi wasn't going to be an everyday shortstop, try him at third. Just see what the hell you have. But do I have a lot of confidence in it? No, because Javi's defense has been putrid over the last year and some change. So
yeah, and I got one more here from Big Dan Davis. Mailbag, do you guys believe Brad has some sort of plan for the edge position? There's no way he actually believes Davenport will stay healthy, right? And I know we talked about some potential plans that we would like to see.
Yeah.
But we've also run up against this thing where Brad Holmes does not care about our plans, does his thing. It looks like that's the wrong idea. And then it works out for him. But gotta ask you, Flannel, if you were flying the wall of Brad Holmes, what you think?
Yeah, I would have to say yes. I would have, like I said, I really hope that he gets one of these available edges. There are a couple that he didn't get that I wish he would have, but at the end of the day, we don't know if he tried. It's complicated. I think he has a plan, though.
How about he has no choice but to have a plan? And I mean, I said this yesterday. He's not just passing up on all these big names for the fuck of it, just to laugh at the fan base. He has to have a plan. He wants to do it his way, and it's going to be done his way. So ultimately, I trust that. Did he go out and get people that I necessarily wanted? No, but Brad hasn't failed us to this point, so he's earned that cachet with me to be patient and just see how it plays out. We still got a lot of time left.
Yeah, no, definitely. And is that a show, John?
Yes.
I think that is a show. And it's been a dope one today, too. Shout out to our guest, Motor City Don P.
Yes, sir.
Who was on today. Hey, T. Foster Legend is in the building. Shout out to Terry Foster. He got on the black kicks today, so it looked like you coming for business today.
Uh-oh.
Shout out to the legend in the building. And chat family, you guys were on one as usual, per usual. And I'm hoping that you guys continue that same energy for the rest of the shows. Big D Energy, Ermanni and Edwards, as well as the heavyweights. And if you haven't gotten a chance to, smash that like button. But we about to break this thing down, kicking things off with the pass. One of these days I'm gonna hit you with the little elbow Jason Williams thing. Hey, shout out to White Chocolate, man. I swear everybody.
He learned that from you?
Everybody, man. No, he learned that from And1.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
He was on the And1 mixtape doing that.
We had those VHSs, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, had to. The And1 tapes.
Hey, but you know what? Hey, let's get that music going. We shut this thing down. Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder, that dude Justin. We got T. Foster Legend in the building. He also started Wake Up Woodward with us, too, man. We got Cavassier Chase in the building, who's working hard today, man. And he got the braids on too. I know the camera's on him right now. Let's let the people see.
Yeah, he got the Bow Wow braids.
Yeah, there we go.
I want to be like Mike.
What up, Russ? Wait, you this got done at Lady Jane's? Wait, your mustache looks a little trimmed up too. You at work? Done? He said the gentleman doesn't tell.
He went and saw the only sister in here is what happened.
Shout out to Cavassier, man.
Man.
In the building. Appreciate everything that you do for Woodward Sports, man.
My boy Kelvin Cambridge over there. Calvin Cambridge.
Oh, basketball is my favorite. No, okay.
Like the way they dribble.
Yo, the booth. Shout out to Willie B.
Big Willie style.
What up, brother?
Man, it's good to be here. It's Friday. Man. Hey, man, everything is a good day when I can step in here, man. So
appreciate that.
Shout out to my boy Pete. Shout out to my boy Sammy. So and my fam. So back in the city. So everything's smooth, man. Just live and maintain and make the most of it.
Live and maintain. Shout out, man. Shout out to Willie B. You just be dropping some little bars there, man. Hey, Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. The T-Tops booth. What up, though, JBSmooovv?
We're still looking for that hat, by the way. If you can sell it to me for less than $1,000, I'll try to get on that. But everyone, thank you for tapping in. Have a good weekend. Shout out to my guy, Tyler Reddick. He will be debuting the Jordan Jumpman card this weekend in Vegas. So shout out to him. It's crazy that SmackDown is actually in like 6 hours from now. It'll be live on Netflix, and then they're going to run it back again actually when it's supposed to be time later on tonight. But yeah, Go out and cop WWE 2K25 as well too, because it's out right now, everybody. So have a good weekend.
Hey, have a great weekend, man. Shout out to KG, Detroit's #1 draft pick, Rookie of the Year, going for Woodward Sports MVP, another one of our hard workers here at the network, man. It's a running thing with the WUW Crew. Shout out to KG.
Hey, appreciate that, man. Let's have a good weekend, y'all. Stay safe. Shout out to Motor City Don P again for coming on the show. It was a great segment. Shout out to my team. Love y'all. Chat, absolutely love y'all. Y'all know that. Let's keep it rolling, bro.
Hey, let's keep it rolling. The vet of the squad, the vet of the network, Red Wings correspondent, all sports knower, and he's been absolutely crushing during this ball knower season for football too. That's Flannel Sam, y'all.
Hey, let's have a great weekend. Got Woodward Wings coming out this weekend as well. Brand new episode, recording it just a couple of minutes.
Hey, listen,
y'all tap in.
Yeah. Listen, guys, the main pods that they're releasing is going to be part of the weekend content for everybody, not just members. Tap in. 10 a.m. Saturday morning, you'll be able to catch Woodward Wings, that dude Justin, and the man Flannel Sam right here. And they're doing a great job. I can't wait. Woodward Ringside will be doing the same, as well as some of the other pods that are hitting the network, man. And it's your boy Brandon Den, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. This has been a dope show. Great way to kick off the weekend. Go ahead and smash that like button if you haven't. But most importantly, you guys have a great day and be blessed, man. Let's go wake the Woodward.
Like, after I saw, the top 15 black wrestlers of all time list.
Yes.
Surprisingly, I don't think this is the worst list in the world. Although we got to talk about some people that was left off.
Some of these names,
Yeah, so who do you think is the biggest snub?
Jay Lethal.
That's another name that should absolutely be in this
There we
list.
go.
I mean, come on, we talking about Black Machismo, bro. He imitated Randy Savage, dog, and it worked. Not only that, bro, he had the greatest promo with Ric Flair of all time. That's fucking the woo off, bro. Bro, the woo off was fucking crazy, bro. But